Okay, so here we go with our second program. This one is called Haiku. I'm going to talk about what a haiku is. So a haiku is like a traditional Japanese poem that follows the 575 rule. The what? There's 5 syllables on the first line, 7 on the second, and then 5 again on the third. Here's an example. An old silent pond. A frog jumps into the pond. Splash. Silence again. Fantastic. I would like for you to write a haiku. At this point, I would recommend you pause the video and attempt it on your own based on what you know thus far. Couple of reminders. I highly recommend a second monitor to help you follow along. I highly recommend that you type as much as possible instead of trying to copy and paste things. I'm going to dive in. I'm going to write a haiku, my personal favorite. Here we are in IntelliJ. I'm still open in the Hello World project. I'm going to actually create a new project by going to File, New, Project. My JDK is already selected, so we just got to go Next. I'm going to hit Next. And then here, we're saving into our AP Computer Science Principles folder, but I need to name the project. In this case, Haiku. Once you have it named, you can hit Finish. It's going to ask, do you want to do it in this folder? Or sorry, this window or a new window. So you can actually have multiple instances of IntelliJ open and do side-by-side things. Kind of up to you. I'm going to do it in this window because I basically want to practice everything from memory. So my Project Explorer is already open, but I do want to expand my Haiku folder. I want to right-click on the SRC and make a new Java class. I'm going to call that Haiku. IntelliJ already creates my class header. Notice that we have the same 2 reserved words from Hello World. We have public, class, and then Haiku. This is the class header, and again, it's effectively the title of this file. Right? Notice it's called haiku.java. We have an opening curly brace, or just brace, and a closing curly brace. Inside of that, I'm tabbed over. I'm going to type out our main method. Public, static, void, main. Then have an open parenthesis, string with a capital S, open bracket, close bracket, args, A-R-G-S. That's a lot, but again, the sooner that you memorize this line, the better. This is my main method header. And just like our class header, we're going to have a body as denoted by an opening and closing brace. I'm tabbed over inside of the main method. I'm ready to start entering commands. What I want to do is write a haiku. Right? Let's tab back to our haiku. So I want it to basically print like this, right? We need to have 3 separate lines where I have 5 syllables on the first line, 7 on the next, 5 on the next. If you're super lazy, consider copy and pasting this. But what I want you to get through is the logic of how do I print 3 separate lines. And if you recall what Hello World looked like, you can start drawing some conclusions. We're going to use that print command, system.out.println, and then my parentheses. This is the command in question. This command, when used, is going to print out whatever is here inside of the parentheses to the console, my output that will show up down bottom. Okay, so what I want here is the beginning of my haiku. And I have a personal favorite, which I'm going to start typing out here. Haikus are easy. This is my first line. So that's all I'm actually including inside of this SOP, this print statement. Right? This is actually something that's executable. I could run this right now. I can do so by right-clicking in free space and telling it to run. This is going to take a moment to build, but compile, But once it does that, it's going to run, and we see haikus are easy. Well, that's my first line. I need another line beneath that, and here is the leap in logic that I hope that you're making, is that we need a new print statement. I'm going to do system.out.println. Again, I invite you to maybe type that as much as possible to not only improve your typing speeds, but get used to the command a little bit more, build muscle memory. Here's my second line. But sometimes they don't make sense. Here I have a second SOP. Inside, I've got what I want it to literally print inside of quoted text. And just like with my previous line, we're ending this statement with a semicolon. That's my second line. I'm actually going to run what I got. I've already executed this program one time. You could right-click and tell it to run again. But after the first execution, you can simply hit the play button up here. The short key being Shift F10. What I'd like you to notice, it's going to, again, take a moment to build and then run, but we see haikus are easy, new line, but sometimes they don't make sense. By using a new print statement, we're able to generate a new line inside of our output. Okay, so now we're ready for our final line. Haikus are easy, but sometimes they don't make sense. Refrigerator. This has been Haiku.